Archaeologists, topic two, archaeologists in Saudi Arabia, excavating 5 sites near Al-Ula for remnants of ancient kingdoms. Indiana Jones in Saudi Arabia, a team of French and Saudi archaeologists have begun work on excavating near Al-Ula in hopes of discovering the remnants of the ancient and long forgotten kingdoms of, and I'm going to botch it, Dadan and Lihyan. This is according to a Reuters report. The site may contain important artifacts and other objects belonging to the Dadanite and Lihyanite civilizations, which were important regional powers that flourished 2,000 years ago. Richard, we've talked a lot about tourism, and we talked at length about it last week. Al-Ula is known for the visually stunning tombs of Madain Saleh, which is also 2,000 years old. That was carved into the rocks by the Nabateans. Saudi Arabia is, Richard, really hot right now for archaeology in the world.
Yes, they are, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So the Saudis in 2019 began forging close links with UNESCO, and I guess they were elected to the executive board. They have committed 25 million to UNESCO's heritage preservation initiatives. And just got their sixth UNESCO site, designated UNESCO site in Saudi, I think this June. And another rock art collection, concentration of rock art in the Southwest. Just extraordinary. And I would want to recommend, I sent it over to you this morning, that link to the Arab News deep dive. Did you see that?
That was fascinating. That was awesome. That was a really impressive piece.
So we'll get this up on the screen somewhere. How this is. This is a really good rundown by the Arab News. It's a deep dive with great visuals and good explanation of the UNESCO heritage sites in Saudi Arabia. All of them, essentially, I mean Jeddah, but all of them pre-Islamic, which I think is a very interesting approach, and something that Saudi Arabia, as we've talked about on this podcast before, is open to now. You've got Hijra Al-Ula, which is part of the Nabatean, as you said, the Nabatean civilization 2,000 years ago, and those, the amazing structures carved into rock. You've got the Al-Asa oasis. You've got Doria. You've got Jeddah, old city, and another rock art. The recent one, rock art, is escaping me. I've forgotten the name of it. But these things are extraordinary. And also another interesting thing is as they get into this archaeology, they're finding that Saudi, the climate change, so, what Saudi Arabia looked like. So, for example, 500,000 years ago, Saudi Arabia was lush terrain with lakes and valleys, and they recently found an 85,000-year-old finger bone found in one of these old lakes. It was a crossroads. It's a fascinating place. There's a lot of really interesting archaeological sites there, and that's one of the things about that Arab News deep dive was on the rock art. You have a picture of the rock art, but experts, you have shapes and actually have drawn out what the actual original art was portraying, and it's especially interesting. So this is, again, was a very purposeful direction chosen by Saudi Arabia to amplify its archaeological sites, not only for historical reasons and scientific reasons, but in support of its tourism industry. And you can see results. It's really impressive, some of the things that are on site in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and some things just don't change. Like Saudi Arabia has recently, as of the last few years, started to position itself on the global stage as an intersection between East and West. And they're sort of doing that as part of a tourism push. But, the reality is that they are, in between the East and the West. And that's always been true. And a lot of these places that they're excavating and a lot of these historic sites actually date back to the frankincense trade. So it's sort of interesting to see that comparison because like they're still in the middle of it now. I mean, when they talked about Neom and they talked about building truly a gateway to the east and west and all of those things that they're building there, I mean, that's literally the opposite of, you know, an archaeological dig in the middle of the desert. It's a modern city. And it's just, you know, certain things never change. It's cool for Saudi Arabia to recognize that both in what they're doing now and also in allowing in a lot of these archaeologists, French, US, there are a lot of Saudi archaeologists as well to uncover some of these sites. Just really cool what's going on there. And it was sort of news to us this week because a lot of the stuff they've been doing around Al-Ula is based on tourism, building up tourist sites, planning hotels and places for you to stay when you come visit Al-Ula. And so reading that on Monday, and the report was from Reuters, we'll also share that with us, with our listeners on the website and on YouTube. But it's just fascinating because it sort of shows that, you know, Saudi Arabia is taking its heritage seriously. When we visited Diriyah in Riyadh just a few years ago, and they were sort of putting the finishing touches on the historic part of the renovation, they kept virtually everything exactly as it was, which was really cool to see. You felt like you were walking back into time.
It was amazing. That was really impressive. The sixth site is Hail. It's up northeast of Riyadh, which is more rock art. Yes, Diriyah was really impressive.
Check it out if you next time you go to Riyadh, visit the old city in Diriyah. It's amazing.